Hello there, I'm Ian McCallum. This is my Quake Map called Alien Map. For today I'm going to be doing a little walkthrough just of my design process and the overall layout of the level, in case you decide to play it yourself. So to start with, the player starts in this operating room, which is meant to be a little section for the player to learn the controls and just learn how overall buttons work, because you have to press this button in order to open up the store and leave. So basically a requirement in order to leave is learning how to use buttons. I also added these windows so you could see the future sections that you want to go to. For example, you can see that button over there, which is the goal of this level. Well, this section of the level. And then we also have a window over here for which we can see the secret area in there and also a door over here. Basically getting just an overall feel of the game and the layout so far. But pressing this door, we can leave. Yeehaw. And for this section, I wanted to make it basically non-linear, so I added a lot of pathways that the player can choose to go down, which can help aid them in their thing. So this way, oh, it's locked. I can't go that way. I can go in here, but I'll go in there next. And then if I choose to go down this way, I can see, oh, I need the silver key to go here. And I can also see inside my secret area in here. I want to get that gun that's in there though. So the next play is going through this. I currently have no target, so that's why these guys aren't attacking me. But in order to solve the door problem of the player going into the room, I have the enemies kind of hidden in the room, who are basically busy working. Busy working or hardly working. Okay. But yeah, so the player goes into this room and engages the enemies here. Once one of them is dead, a second wave will appear out of these rooms, which are these guys, who get aggroed once one of them is dead. It's basically like a second wave that comes in, and because they heard the commotion that was happening in this room. Also, I just wanted to mention for textures, I went with more tech-themed and alien-themed textures, just so to like convey that theme of aliens. If we choose to go left here, of course these enemies would already come in here and not be killed, but there's a bathroom here. We can shoot up here and get to the secret area. Then we can go back and go the other way. But for this encounter, or from playtesting, a lot that I noticed was that players didn't feel like there was enough health or ammo packs. So I tried to give them enough so they would feel replenished afterwards, but also that the combat would feel a little challenging. So let's kill that dude. And then going into here, go through here, and there's an ogre in this one who's meant to be like the security checkpoint person for here. We're just going to walk past them and press this button, which opens up these two doors that we can see. And by opening them up in like clear sight lines, we can approximately like see what's happening and where to go from after that. We can choose to go back that way, but there's nothing really much that way. And then we can also go into here, which is the cafeteria. Once we enter in, the door will close in behind us, and yeah, then this combat encounter will start. We have two guys at the bottom floor here that are just like eating their lunch. These two guys up above that can be like avoided by like going underneath here, so that it buys you some time. This dude's gonna be supporting by firing out rocket launchers. But one of the main things I wanted for this one was the door problem, where I added this little foothold here so that the player can enter in the room safely and be like, ah, yes, I have cover from these enemies. I have map control. They can also like go up the stairs, and then the door will also close in behind them so they don't have a way to go back. And then after they picked up the key, which I already did, and I also made sure to add lots of health packs because there's lots of enemies here. Once the key opens, this door to the vent will open. And because this door is closed, the player is going this way. The reason I add this vent is, one sec, let me actually engage no clip for a second. The reason I added this vent was because in previous editions I had the player go all the way back through this way, through all the way here to get to this door right here. But the players would get lost all the time, and I couldn't. Yeah, they just like couldn't figure it out. So I made a more direct route above so that they would have a better chance of figuring it out. And then after we hit this button, we head right back into the section where we were just in, but right here in front of the door. So now we can actually open it up. And then from here, engage the clip and go down here. It's kind of dark, which is meant to be kind of the point of this area. Not a whole lot of lighting because the aliens don't require that much light. Then there's this little secret area that you can get by hitting that and going in here. Then afterwards, you have a rocket launcher now and going in here. This is the engine room, which I had the most problem with in terms of like enemy placements and just like overall difficulty. Mainly because as players noted that it was like extremely difficult in my starting editions. So to compensate, after reading more about the door problem in particular, here I found out that most likely the problem had a lot to do with map control. Mainly because this area wasn't designed with these barriers here at the start that are now in the level. So now they can be used as like footholds to gain access into the place. Previously, the player would just be kind of in this like straight hallway, and they didn't really have much to help them in terms of actually getting into it without getting hit. So it would lead to a lot of like, what do I do, kind of thing. And then after these enemies are killed, there's also like a little supply pack here, which can be taken while you're behind this cover. There's more behind this cover as well, just as like little placements to keep you going in this area for map control. And then after hitting this button, which I'll engage, no, clip off. After hitting this button, it opens up this door, which now leads into the next area. From going up here, we can hop onto here and go on up. Going on up here, we have another enemy that we can face. They're just walking a path. Most of the times they'll notice you when you're going up the elevator, and they'll be like, oh, but you can hear them going up there. So you'll be ready for a combat encounter. Then you have some ammo. This is to get you ready for the upcoming boss fight. Then you hit the button. And look, what's in there? It's the door to the escape pod. Oh. And then we can go in here. And once we go into the room a certain distance, the door will close in behind us, basically forcing us to engage in this combat encounter. And we have 2 Death Knights. Previously, this was a Scrag, which is the spider lady who fires those balls, but she was way too difficult in order to handle in terms of difficulty, mainly because I didn't have enough cover in my level to block the orbs and like basically kite them off of. So I added the 2 Death Knights instead, which are basically like the pilots of this control room. And they spawn in like the dark, so like when you go into the room, they'll spawn in, and they'll kind of like come into the light, so you see who they are. But yeah, there's also kind of a risk-reward kind of play, because these 2 guys will be on the stairs, but you have to get past them if you want to get any of this ammo that's up here. And then finally, once you hit the button, that door will open, and you can also see that the door to the escape pod opens, for which I can use to leave. And then we have a little end screen here. Yeah,